Hello everyone, welcome to MastersTeach, and today we'll discuss about the entrepreneurship development. It is part of your fourth semester and which is very important. I'll go through one by one. Okay, listen carefully. If possible, take the notes. Okay, so let us have uh, entrepreneurship, entrepreneur. Okay, let us discuss definition first. An entrepreneur is an individual who identify opportunities, take risks, and create value through a new venture. Okay, when you write the exam, try to write the entrepreneur definition first, then key traits or key strengths. So, as an entrepreneur, you should have innovative and you should have risk taking capability, leadership, and resilience and vision. Okay, so the classification of entrepreneur. Okay, you should be innovative, imitative, Fabian, drone, and social entrepreneurs. In simple language, entrepreneur means is like a businessman who identify what is the opportunities and is try to take the risk and creates the new value through new venture or new working new business. Okay, so the key strengths are you should be innovative, so is ready to take new steps and ready to take risks, and you should have the leadership quality and resilience and vision. So the classification involves like innovative means he is ready to make the new things. Imitative, see, imitate others big organization and he starts up his own. Same way Fabian, drone and social entrepreneur. Okay, please do write the definition first and key traits and classification so that that will be yield good marks. Okay, so let us discuss entrepreneur behavior and culture. Okay, as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, as a new inventor, so it should have motive. Okay, so it is driven by need and to achieve something independently and at the same time in order to create the wealth, in order to create the money, the motivation should be there. Okay, how the motivation comes? If you have the need or if you want to achieve something independently on your own and in order to get the more money. So that is the motivation and entrepreneur culture. So wherever you do business that or you want to grow fast, you should have the environment that encourages positively creativity and risk tolerance and innovation. So, some of the theories for the entrepreneurial behavior and culture, one is Scumpeter innovation theory, Mac Cleland's achievement theory, and Kinger's opportunity theory. These are the theories. Just remember. Okay, these are the entrepreneurial behavior culture. Then entrepreneurship development and intrapreneurship. There is a lot of difference between entrepreneurship development and intra entrepreneurship. What is intrapreneurship? So, for example, you are working in a company, in an organization, you want to innovate something without starting a new firm. As a you're working in a one small company, however you want to innovate that organization without leaving that company. Okay, that comes under entrepreneurship. Okay, INTRAPRENEURSHIP. Okay, climate for entrepreneurship. Okay, within the organization, you should have the autonomy, freedom, and you should have the management should support, the management should encourage for even if the failure comes, so the management should encourage for the failure also. Okay, what is the key causes for this entrepreneurship? Okay, due to unemployment, due to technological changes, due to globalization, due to government policies changes. That is the reason you want to become entrepreneurship. You search the job, you never get. Okay, you due to technology, everybody is thrown out from the organization. Due to globalization, due to government policy, you are supposed to leave the organization. That time you are going to get the idea. I want to start the new company, new venture. Okay, so these are the causes for entrepreneurship. Okay, then who is going to foster institutions? So who encourages the these entrepreneurs? So some of the banks are there: SIDBI, NIE, SBUD, SIC, and district industry centers and state financial corporations. So big or public sector banks, they won't give the finance to the those who starting the new venture or new business. Okay, for them there is a small industries development bank of India, something like that. They will provide the financial assistance. These are the entrepreneurship development and intra entrepreneurship. Okay, so how the source of new ideas and opportunity recognition. Okay, so idea source. So you want to start the new business or new venture. How you are going to get the ideas? Okay, so where the ideas you'll get? Through consumers, through existing products, through research and development, through trade shows, through channel members. So you want to start the business. How you are going to get the idea? So the consumer helps. Consumer indicate that we want to have such product, we want to have such type of services. Even the existing products are not good, then you are going to for the new product. And through research and development, sometimes you attend trade shows, sometimes you go to exhibitions of industrial exhibition, then you come to know I want to do this, that. And if you want to become channel member, then also you'll get the new ideas to start the new business or new venture. Okay, then before starting any organization, so there is a creative problem solving. So brainstorming and mind mapping, scamper technique, and lateral thinking. Okay, for any new ideas, what happened? Brainstorming. You discuss with your friend. Somebody asks the question, you give the answer, and you ask, you make the mind map. What is happen next? What is going to be happen next? And scamper technique and lateral thinking. What is going to be happen in the future? So such type of creative problem solving should be there. And in order to start new business, opportunity recognition. So identify the gaps in the market through observation, research, and customer feedback. So what is lacking the present product, what is lacking the present industry, you observe carefully and you make the research, and you also get the customer feedback. So that is the thing, the source of new ideas and opportunity recognition. So when you start the business, when you start any venture, when you start any services independently, you have to look the things. What, like if I start the business, how the market is, how the financial things, how the organizational feasibility, how the technical feasibility. Feasibility planning is a sure shot question in your examination. Feasibility planning means determines whether business idea is valuable or not, before committing resource, it follows structural four stages. Okay, market. So before starting any business, you are going to research in the market. You are going to see the feasibility, whether particular product has the demand or not, whether competition is there or not, whom I am going to sell. So you are going to study about the market feasibility, and at the same time you are going to see about the technical feasibility. So how I am going to start the business, what is the technology I need to use, what products I am going to uh, take into consideration, technical feasibility, and how I am going to produce the techniques. Then financial visibility, you want to start the business, you studied about the market feasibility, you studied about the technical feasibility, and you're going to study up the financial feasibility. I want to start the business, where I can get the finance, where I can purchase the thing. If I start, how the revenue comes. Okay. If the profit comes, what happen? If the loss comes, what happen? Okay. You see all the financial feasibility. Then you go for actual organization feasibility. Means feasibility means you forecast, like what is the team you're going to hire the people, and what is the structure, who is the chairman, who is the vice chairman, who is the team leader, who is the managers. That, as well as you're going to see about the legal things. So when they ask about the feasibility planning, you have to remember market feasibility, technical feasibility, financial feasibility, and organization feasibility. Okay, you have to remember these four, so that the like you can gain the marks. Okay. And preparation of feasibility plan. Okay, one is market feasibility. So whatever the business you are going to do, in that whatever the venture you are going to do, whether particular thing, particular product, whether demand is there or not, whether competition is there or not, you have to check. And technical feasibility, so you have to evaluate which type of production I have to make. Okay, what is the capacity to production, and at the same time, when you are going to make the uh, product, you need to have finance, you need to have money. Okay, then you check about the financial feasibility, whether I have the cost amount or not, whether the how much cost I am going to incur, whether the revenue comes or not, whether it is possible or not, that you are going to see. Then organizational feasibility, so you think about the people you are going to recruit, like you are going to review a team, what is the structure, like hierarchy, as I said, who is the CEO, who is the directors, who is the managers, who is the workers. Then you're going to start the business. So it is a feasibility plan. Okay, it evaluate the market demand, it evaluate the production capacity, financial viability, and organizational ready before launching a venture. In order to start any business, you have to prepare the feasibility plan, market feasibility, technical feasibility, financial feasibility, and organizational feasibility. Okay, I hope you understand this. You have to write, don't leave any question. Okay, which is mandatory. It is 80 marks question paper. Okay. Then financial management of SME. So you want to start the business. Okay, for that you have to check about the financial management. SME, what is small and medium enterprises. Okay, in order to start any small and medium enterprises, small medium enterprises, small business you want to start, how you are going to start, you need to check about the source of finance, where you are going to get the amount to start a business, from the bank loan, microfinance, government schemes, angel investor, and whatever the previously you earn the money, that savings you use the money for the start a venture. Then working capital. So you started the business, in order to run the business you need to have working capital. Okay, there is the current assets and current liability, so that the venture can go smoothly. Then venture capital. So you want to start the business, but people won't give the money. Big banks won't give the money. So you need to have high uh, capital, which is going to be high risk, whether you're going to success or not. Okay. So financial management of SME. Once you want to started the small and medium enterprises, think about the source of finance, working capital, and venture capital. Okay. Then venturing finance. Okay, this is also important point, my dear friends. In order to teach this particular lesson, okay, at least you need to spend 4 to 5 months, but entire syllabus I'm covering in 20 minutes. So venturing finance, so first you need to have seed stage, then early stage, then expansion stage, later stage, existing stage. Okay, in order to start any business, you need to have seed stage, means in the beginning of the venture, you need to have money, and the early stage, then you started and you need capital. When you are expanding your business, you want to have money. When after that, when later stage also, you need to have money. Then uh, once you started the business, you required money for early stage, expansion stage, later stage, then exit stage. Through IPO, you can exit from that particular business. Okay. So the key characters of venture capital is that long-term equity investment, high growth, then active involvement of investment engagement. There is a high risk, high return capital. Okay, these are the things. Okay, venture capital. Remember these stages. Okay, then you enter into the small and medium enterprises. Okay, where you need to have marketing and operations management in small and medium enterprises. Yes, marketing and operation management in SME. Okay, what is SME? Small and medium enterprises. So we discussed about the financial management of SME. We discussed about the venture financing. We discussing about the marketing, operations and management in SME. So in order to sell any product, you need to have four P's: product, pricing, place, promotions. Okay, so in a market, so which product you want to sell, and at which price you want to sell, in which place you want to sell it, in which advertise strategy you want to use. So you have to do some research. Okay, product and pricing, then distribution communication. So the product is developed, you need to sell through which channel, whether through direct sales, through retailers, through wholesaler, through e-commerce platforms like Amazon, Flipkart, or any other platform, as well as how you can advertise through social media or local advertising. That is the thing. Then production material. So you have the product, you have the pricing, you have the distribution and communication. At the same time, you need to have sufficient product, you should have proper planning, you should have proper warehousing facility, you need to have proper inventory, and you need to have proper material management in order to reduce cost and waste. Then human resources. Okay, in order to run your small and medium enterprises, in order to run your venture, okay, one you need to have, you need to recruit the people, you need to train the people, you need to motivate the people, and at the same time you recruited, you train and you motivate, and at the same time you are able to retain the human resources. It is a critical thing. So you have to manage growth and productivity. So it's a marketing operation management in SME. Okay, then like you want to start any business, you have to you have to study about the opportunities and evaluate. Okay, so ge- generate opportunities, assess attractiveness, evaluate and decide. So in order to entry into new business, you should find the gaps through market research. Whether I if I want to start any new business, okay, you have to check about the market conditions, and you have to check how the technical trends is going on. At the same time, you have to check about the customer pain points, or means where the customer is suffering, okay, where the opportunities are there. In that particular thing, you can uh, generate opportunities. For example, if you see the Uber, okay, person want to travel in car but he don't have car, he don't have driver, simply he can pay the uh, amount, he can travel where he want to go. In the same way, Zomato come come into the picture. You get the hungry, where you have the app, you order, you get the things. Okay, this is one type of venture. Then uh, then access attractiveness means evaluate market size, growth rate, competitive intensity and profit potential. Okay, then evaluate and decide. So weigh risk against returns, access the with entrepreneur skills and resources. So it is nothing but you want to start the business, where you have to see the opportunities, how you are going to attract the customers, and once you attract the customers, you are going to evaluate the same. Okay, then like you started the business, you have you enter into the business, you have, and once you enter, you won't get the profit suddenly. So some risk are there, that risk need to be minimized. Okay, entry and risk reduction strategy. So pioneering strategy, first mover advantage, enter a new market before competitors. You want to make one product in the market, but nobody has that product in the market. So if you introduce that product for such type of service, okay, then you become pioneer in in that particular thing. For example, lens card, okay, where you can check your site, you can order online. Okay, so it is the pioneer state. Before lens card, no such things are there. Before Zomato, no online food order app is there. Before before Geo, no one is there such type of technology. They are the pioneer in that particular industry. Then imitation strategy. Okay, imitation means you copy and paste. Okay, you have the already some successful business is there. Okay, you copy that business and you start the business. Okay, in a different market. If somebody is operating in a uh, place called A, you're going to start the business place called B, but however you copy that particular model, that is called imitation strategy. One more thing, franchising. Okay, franchise means some existing brands are there. Okay, for example, you want to start uh, like McDonald business. What you do, you take the franchise from them, and you, due to that brand, people will purchase that particular product. Okay, so that anybody can purchase that particular product, you won't get risk. So entry risk reduction strategy. So if you are enter into any new business, how you are going to reduce the risk? One is pioneering strategy, second one is imitation strategy, third one is franchising strategy. Strategy means nothing, it is nothing but plan. So risk strategy, risk reduction strategy, how you are going to reduce the risk, how you are going to less the risk. what is the plans for that. So before starting any venture, you have to study the market, okay, whether profits are coming or not, whether the customer able to pay or not, whether their uh, civil road civil rating is proper or not. Okay, you have to see, and you have to see strategic alliance with the joint venture. If you are unable to do your business on your own, if you are unable to do the venture on your own, you can have the joint venture. And some of the things you need to have licensing and technological partners, you cannot do alone, so you have to see that one. Then uh, before entering any business, before entering into the any medium and small enterprises, you have to test that market first. Do small test, do small service, or do start with small shop. Then you come to know whether you are going to survive or not. This is a entry risk reduction strategies. For example, Infosys, okay, it is started with only 10,000 capital, and in 1981, okay, so it is a low risk entry strategy, okay, and it becomes successful company in IT, okay. So this is about the entry and risk reduction strategies, okay. So how you are going to grow your business, or how you are going to uh, grow your venture, how you are going to grow your own startup. First, market penetration. That means, for example, I have the app, I sell one product to him, okay. So for example, I sell the uh, group one material, and second time when he is prepared for the other exam, the same person I approach, you take that particular app. Or else, so existing customer you sell more, you have set of customers, and what you do, uh, for them you offer more products. That is the market penetration and market development. So you want to sell the new customers, new product to the new people in new area. That is market development and product development. So according to the uh, according to the time, according to the trend, you make the development of that product and sell and diversify. So you won't sell only one product, you sell different products. For example, the soaps are there, all are soaps, but the things, some soaps are different from each other, the names get they changes, okay. So diversification, market market penetration, uh, market development, product development, diversification, okay. That is the thing, okay. Then we'll discuss about the family business. Family business, the family business, okay. So we learned about the venture thing, we learned about the small medium enterprises. Now at the family business, okay. In India, more than 70% of the GDP comes from the family business, okay. So the family may be nuclear, one two people are there. Some families are extended family, some families are dynastic families firms. For example, Tata, Birla, Reliance, okay. These are all a family business, family owned business, a family owned business. So the succession planning, so for example, somebody has passed, somebody is died, the head of the family is passed away, then how it is going to be transfer that leadership to the next generation, okay. And how the critical for continue, so that in family business we learn. So improvement strategies, okay. In a family business, they do old way of doing the business, but in order to improve the family business, you need to have professionalized management and like the management and ownership should be separated. Then you should uh, adapt the formal governance structure. Okay, this is about the family business. So what you have to write in a examination: family business, it contributes more than 70% of gross domestic products. So the family types may be nuclear, extended, dynastic, family firms, and succession plans. Means somebody, for Tata, he is passed away, but after that he passed to the another people. That is succession plan. Then how you are going to improve the family business? To professionalize management, separate ownership from control, then adopt formal governance and structures. Okay, then entrepreneur development program. Okay, entrepreneur development program. Okay, so how you are going to be a perfect businessman? Okay, first you have to identify, selection, motivate, testing. Okay, so in order to develop uh, like entrepreneurship development programs, okay, you have to give that before training. Okay, you identify whether the people are capable or not, whether they have the motivation or not. Okay, in order to make the people become entrepreneurship, you need to identify who is capable of doing business. Then after identify the people, you gives the training phase. That means you give the skills. Okay, you give the business plan, you expose the different industrial visits. Then post training, so you recruit the people, you identify the people, you train the people. Then after training, you support the same. Okay, and this is the EDP, entrepreneur development program. There are three stages: pre training phase, training phase, post training phase. In Indian EDP. What is EDP? Entrepreneur Development Programs, which is developed by various organization by NIESBUD and EDII and Indian EDP model trains. So India Indian government gives various entrepreneur development programs. Okay, so this is the thing. Then we'll check the next. Kindly be online. Okay, uh, here uh, we discussed about the entrepreneur development program. Then one more point: women entrepreneurship. Okay, so India want to develop the people, not only male but also inclusive women's. Okay, it is very difficult women to do business, women to do uh, become entrepreneur, women become uh, venture venturist. So the concept of empowerment, women entrepreneur drives economic independence, social change, and inclusive growth. So if the women want to do the business, if the women want to uh, become entrepreneur, so but they have the problem of getting the finance and social norms. Nobody encourages women to do the business or venture. And people, women usually don't have lack of training, they don't have train. And they have to balance between family and business. These are the challenges. And in order to encourage women entrepreneurship, the government gives lot of opportunities like Mahila Udyam Nidhi, Sri Shakti, trade schemes, and small industrial development banks. Okay, which provides women focus programs. So they may ask, write about the women entrepreneurship. You have to write about the concept. Okay, and they want to give the independence. They want to change the social. They want to inclusive growth. And what are the challenges? They don't have access to finance, some social norms, because here the society is dominated by male, not female. They don't have training. they have to balance between family, they need to look after the children and other things, and support system. So Mahila Udyam Nidhi, Sri Shakti, trade schemes, and Small Industries Development Bank of India, and women focused programs. Okay, then we'll go to the next slide. Okay, rural entrepreneurship. Even enterprises establish rural area that utilize for local resources in order to reduce migration, in order to not to going Dubai, Muscat, or Mumbai. Okay, so rural people want to establish, the government want to establish the business in locally in the rural area. But what is the challenges? Okay, what is the problems? Poor infrastructure and connectivity. They don't have electricity, they may not have proper internet connectivity, they cannot have the credit, they won't get the loans from the uh, banks, from the market. And people who does the rural entrepreneurship or rural business, they don't have the how, they don't know how to write, read, calculate the things. So that is the reason these are the problems. And government support. So government provides various financial assistance and training through PMEGP and KVIC, NABARD, and DRDA provides funding and also trains, and they also market linkages to rural entrepreneurship. For example, you can say Nirmal Tol Atabommalu. So they have small, the government give the finance to them. Even for the Sirsila Cheneta, they give finance, they train, and they sell the products through exhibition. The government supports. So that is called as rural entrepreneurship. Okay, so some of the entrepreneurs who develop their business alone without supporting anyone. Okay, so Dhirubhai Ambani, who established the Reliance Industries from, it is started from textile firm to India's largest companies, RIL, now Geo. You have Narayan Murthy. So he started Infosys with the 10,000 rupees, and he is the first IT revolution in the global stage. Then Ratan Tata. So it is also have small business started, and they have now Joggerland, Rover, Chorus Steel, etc. Then Elon Musk. Okay, so he disrupted the automotive and he entered into the space industry, Tesla, SpaceX, etc. Then Steve Jobs. So he introduced about the personal computing, music, mobile communication. Okay, Apple is a status symbol. These are the inspiring entrepreneur. So when you write the this exam, you have to keep these people in mind. Okay, some of the important questions. Okay, define entrepreneur and entrepreneurship. Okay, what is entrepreneurship? What define venture capital? What is feasibility planning? So we have the different types of entrepreneur, describe phases of EDP, explain entry strategies for the new, and essay questions, explain the entrepreneur process with the diagram, discuss the component of feasibility plan, explain the growth strategies with example, explain women and rural entrepreneurship. So go through these things, go through this video again and again, don't sleep, watch this and write the exam so that you can succeed. I covered all the 5 units of entrepreneurship development. Go through this, okay? And I have done, I told in shortcut way, but you have to fill your total examination answer sheet so that your success will be yours. Thank you for watching. All the best for your coming examination.